Okay, very good, very good. Thank you very much. So I deeply regret not to be able to join you physically today. I would have loved to come back to ESSEC, and I still very much enjoy the physical interaction with you. So don't hesitate, please don't hesitate to ask questions. Okay, it's not because I'm not here. This is not recorded. You can ask me any question. So first of all, I want to congratulate you for this week. I hope you all learned a lot. And we're always learning when there is some exchange, when we're focusing on the future. There is always some positive effect on the ecosystem and on our side. So I wanted to share a little bit my experience with you. Not that is very uncommon. So my name is Frédéric Marcerou. I'm almost 50 years old now. And I'm the managing director for Bollore Logistics, which is a logistic company, as the name said. And I'm managing today an entity that is doing around 300 million euro turnover. We are 1,600 people and one of the leaders on the logistic and warehousing in Singapore. So very exciting time for us in the supply chain space. So to tell you about a little bit about my career. So I was born in 1972 in a small city in the south of France named Biarritz, which is actually a very well-known resort and a surf resort in the south of France. But why I'm telling you that is also because it's what we call in France a terroir, which is very linked to the tradition. And I'm going to link that later on to the innovation and the imagination and the changes. So I'm coming from a very simple family. My father was working in a bank. My mom was taking care of my sister and I. And the value of the family were really on taking care of each other, hard work, tradition as well. Yet my mom had always this will to go and visit other places. So since our early age, we went to travel with the cars, took the cars and went to Spain, to Greece, to Turkey, which is very common now, but which at that time was something quite special. And it gave me a feel of the different people, the different food, the different dress, different society. And I guess I kept that all my life on this interest for other. So basically, at that time, I was going to school. I was not a fantastic student. I was an okay student. And there is one question I couldn't answer for many years, and you know that your teacher asking you that or asked you that before on a regular basis is what do you want to do in the future? And at this question, I could never answer, and my answer was always I don't know. But on that, I carry on with my general studies. I ended up doing some university on economic and statistics, and from there is okay. What's next? What really do you want to do? Because you're gonna have to choose at one point in time. And I had discussion with members of my families, and some of them were very excited for me to graduate in economic and statistics, and they told me, okay, it's great. You're going to be able to get a job for the state in the social security, and to do a career there, very stable, very good. So, and when they told me that, actually, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew what I didn't want to do, and this is what I didn't want to do. So I was in between, and I was between two things that are very different. One was to go and do some surfing in Tahiti for the summertime, and the other one was to go and visit the US. So I took the decision, and frankly, I don't remember why, but I took the decision to go to the US, and I arrived there, and I find a complete different environment. It was in the late 90s. It was in 97 exactly. And I found an environment, coming back to the imagination, which was completely different from France at that time. It was what we called the internet boom age, and it was really a question of do it, try it, experiment, try it, do it, and get things progress. By yourself or as a group, and I really found that for me it was quite inspiring to arrive in this kind of society, which was much more open than what we had in France at that time, and I felt very good there actually because of this ecosystem that was allowing you to speak up, to put your ideas forward, to try your ideas, where the trust was always there. And you know, the American, they always push you, saying, "Okay, it's great, it's fantastic," and I really enjoy this. I really enjoy this part, and that was basically one of my first big experience in terms of imagination and the power of imagination. And you know what has been done in the US at this time, with all those big company, big internet company being created, all the way the business was done, taking advantage of this of those new technology, and for me this was really the driver of the American success during the early 2000s. And from there, so I stayed 9 years in the US with different position. Every year I was saying, okay, I wanna go back to France. I'm just here on vacation for a few weeks, and so every year you have somebody in the US where they propose you another job, another promotion, and you say, okay, I'm going to do another year, and another year after another year. I spent 4 years in New York and 5 in Chicago, and I really enjoy all the discovery and openness and capability to innovate and to grow in your ideas, in your spirits. So it felt great. But after 9 years, I had a daughter. So in between, I married my high school sweetheart, and so we had a daughter. And after 9 years in the US, we say, okay, what do we do? Do we stay there, or do we continue the adventure? And so we decided to continue the adventure, and we went back to the company I was working for, which is Bollore Logistics, and we asked them, okay, do you have other opportunities outside of the US for us? And they came with 2 opportunities. One, which was a big position in a very established office. Some of you might know it's in Le Havre, which is a main port in France. So big position in one of the biggest offices. But when you come from south of France, going to Le Havre is a little bit difficult to swallow. And the other one was in China, which was a new market for us. It was in 2005. You know, it was the beginning of the Chinese boom in terms of production. China was becoming the factory of the world. And so I took the job. It was based in Guangzhou in 2005. And I might have done a mistake because I didn't do any trip to see what the country was actually. And so I arrived in Guangzhou after 9 years in the US, and basically I couldn't imagine the place I found, and I couldn't imagine what I found. And the first striking image that I have is I arrive in my first day in the office. the manager at that time welcomed me and showed me the office. And the office was a massive office, huge office, and completely empty. And so I told him, okay, but what do I do here? Where is it empty? And his answer was, it's your job to create it and to fill it. Which was a very interesting task at the time. And why I'm telling you all that on China is on what I found on China. I thought that after the US, I have seen everything about imagination and innovation. And when I arrived in China at that time, I arrived in a country that was a white page, and where they were building everything. And I guess it's really the difference between a brick and mortar business like the US that is trying to change, and a pure player like China who was just getting born. Modern China, which was just getting born at that time. And where imagination was something that just blew my mind away. These people in China at that time, and still now, by the way, they had no limit in terms of imagination. They could question anything. They could put any model on the table that were completely unheard of, and we had to adapt to that to keep the pace. So that was another very interesting time for me in terms of imagination and innovation, to see that the different context you will create for that will lead to different results. And you can see now that after 15 or 20 years, China has done massive progress on that, just on the imagination, on doing the things differently. From there, I after 3 years in China, I did fill up the office first of all, and we were quite successful on building up our business there. And I was promoted to managing director position, and I went to Thailand. I spent 2 years in Thailand, 3 years in Philippines, 4 years in Indonesia, where all that I was, and it's really what's driving my career is to be able to arrive in those places and you need a lot of imagination to say, okay, what do we build? How do we build it? What's the technology? What's the people that we have? What's the market? What's the geography? And to try to build and find solution. And this is really what made success trail in my career, is to be able to think out of the box in all of those countries. And finally, five years ago, I arrived in Singapore, which is a little bit our flagship in the world, at least in terms of logistics, of warehousing. And one of the first things we've done in Singapore is to create to structure our innovation and to create an innovation center. What we wanted to do is to have people where the job was to think about the future, and it's very exciting as a leader in this kind of situation, because you decide, okay, where do we want to go? What's our direction there? And the direction we took on the innovation lab was very simple, three very simple directions. The first one was obvious. It was data and digital, to tackle everything that's linked to blockchain, to digital, to visibility tools, etc. And how do we integrate all those new technologies? Because I'm a deep believer that early adopters are winners. The second pillar was even more obvious, and is sustainability. How do we bring sustainability in the supply chain? And the third one, it was physical automation. How do we automate? how do we get more productive, how do we do the things better, etc., etc. But for that, like any imagination, you can imagine by yourself in your room alone, but you're much more successful in making faster progress if you hook up with the ecosystem. So we've done a lot of work to hook up with first within the company on the people who want to be innovative, who want to say something, who want to bring something to the table. So how do we benefit from this knowledge? The second one is universities, because we also are working on a few difficult topics where we don't have all the expertise, and we need the scholars to help us on that. So we cooperate with ESSEC, but also with NUS and TU, etc., in Singapore. And the third one was definitely the rest of the ecosystem, all the startup, but not only the startup, also the innovative company, because there is some other brick and mortar company who are also looking at the future and want to cooperate on that. And the last one in Singapore, which I think is a little bit specific to Singapore, was linked with the authorities, with the government, that has a lot of interest in the new technology, in the looking at the future and looking at the innovation. And this was a great success. I mean, beyond, when we started to do that, we are not sure of where we're going, and we are not sure of what to expect. And I have to say that for me, it was really mind-blowing and really an eye-opener, because today, three years down the road, this changed the company's strategy deeply. So we made a lot of progress on the sustainability, and this become one of the pillar, but not only the pillar, the mission statement of the company, which is how do we do a greener logistic? How do we do more with less? How do we reduce our carbon footprint? So because of this, now we did change our strategy. Same our investments. Most of our investments now in terms of people and infrastructure are on the digital and on the physical automation, because we think that the world is. I mean, you're all seeing that, and I'm sure you discuss about it on the whole week. The world is changing fast, and the value for the company now for us is not on moving cargo from one place to the other, but is much more on the marketplace, on the data, and on how we do things, taking full use of the technology for the future. So I'm quite pleased with that, and frankly, I'm spending. I wouldn't say that I'm spending most of my time, but I'm spending a big part of my time with this team, looking at the future, anchoring the direction for the future, and listening to people on their idea, on the imagination they can have. So on all that, what I want to tell you is that first of all, it has to be a collaborative approach. We cannot do that by ourselves. We always try to do that by ourselves, thinking, oh, we're going to invent something great. And we're going to take benefit of that. Few people have done it, for sure. Yet we are seeing that we are making real progress with collaboration, with internal collaboration in the company, but also with collaboration with other parties, and the collective intelligence on that is, I think, is paramount. The next point I want to raise on that is it's always based on people, and the people are always at the center of the imagination. But from this imagination, you also, as a leader, linking it to business, you also have to take decision, and our role as leaders, as managers, is really to take decision from this innovation, to take position and say, okay, I want to go there and be bold on that, because if you want to be leader in the future, you have to take bold decisions. So I can only encourage you to enhance the imagination and put it at the center of your strategy, and on the how you do business, but not only business, how you live as a person.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Frédéric. Thank you very much for your presentation and your talk. We have two quick questions because the time is running. We have actually one question is how you compare your experience of doing business in Asia from doing business in US.
Yeah, that's really the point. So I would say that is quite different. It's quite different on the approach. The American will be much more structured in their approach. We'll have model for everything and anything. Will allow ideas, but those ideas will be modelized in a way. In Asia, we are on an ecosystem that is much newer, meaning that you still have entrepreneurs at the head of big groups, and those people they don't take the decision on the same manner. They will modelize less and have much more feelings and saying, okay, yes, I want to go there, and because it is their business, and because most of the time they're also the shareholder.
Quite related question from Antoine. If you were 25 today, as well as in 1997, what is today the equivalent for you of what USA were at that time in your mind?
Alors, first of all, I wish I was 25 again, because it's a great time of your life. I mean, to me, I would say that it's Asia, definitely, and I'm, so my daughter was born in the US in 2005, so she's now 16. She's American as well as French. But she has an American passport, and for me it was a great thing, because I say, okay, she has an American passport. She's going to be all about USA. She's going to go back to do her university there, etc. And when I discuss with her, and with my son as well, 2 years older, younger. Sorry. They have a very, very limited interest for the US. Which is super surprising for me, which is a big change. So I would say that what is it today? I would put two. One of it I would put in Asia. Definitely, you have fantastic things happening in Korea, in Japan, China for sure, Singapore. Much more modern and new approach of innovation and of doing business. And surprisingly, I would put Europe, because I think that Europe is inventing a new way of doing business, a little bit far away from the US and their capitalism at all cost. And you can see on that finally the interest for Europe, who is also taking sustainability very seriously, or at least much more than any other continent. I think Europe is also a good place.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Frédéric, for being with us this morning. Thank you.